print version, which is one here. So I've taken it down from 100 to 38 promises, and I'll explain my method. So I'll show you what this is what the document looked like originally, okay? So you see that I've gone through it systematically.
Got my vote already.
Picked out the things which I thought were, well, I'll explain which things I thought were important. So my method goes as follows. So I've really left out anything that's purely about maintaining a service that's already there. Okay, I think most people will be pretty vigilant when things are cut, so I haven't really kept in many things that like that. Anything that's too general, so something that's not quantifiable, I've taken those out as well.
There's been a ton of them, right?
A lot of them. Anything that appears to have little impact on citizens, so anything really that's too fluffy. So for example, while it sounds quite interesting, there's a commitment to having a science expo on Glasgow Green to celebrate the 250th anniversary of James Watt's condenser engine. I think.
Oh yeah,
fantastic.
That's a good one. Yeah,
That's really important. So fluffy things like that.
With a condenser-shaped case to be cut
yeah,
down
okay,
the
I know it's important. So things like that, which are fluff, I've left out as well. Anything incomprehensible. There's a few of those. There's one about scholarships and businesses, which I just didn't. I'll read it to you. Number 50. Labour will introduce scholarships for pupils in partnership with businesses across the city, developing a curriculum tailored to their needs.
Oh, I see, that's probably teaching people how to work at McDonald's.
No, I suspect it's teaching them to work for free for businesses that will use their talent, extract their ideas and market them all on their own. Forgive me for being...
So, leaving out those things that I've said already, brought the focus back instead to communities and their needs, things that are measurable, and the overarching promise, which I've got in bold at the top there, which I think they've got that listed as number 17, but I think it's a key one. Listen to local communities, consulting with residents and listening to their priorities for their neighbourhoods. Okay, so that's what we'd all hope, I think, that they do. Two of these things have happened already. One of them's on the sheet I've given you, another one isn't. One of them is number 72, the Factoring Commission.
Establish a factoring commission.
You know that this means?
Yes,
yeah. So number 72 has already happened. Establish a Factoring Commission within 1 month of being elected to provide workable solutions for residents that are efficient, good value and fair. And I believe that's underway. The other one that's already happened was number 37, which you don't have on your sheet because it was about the Jubilee and the fantastic parties they were going to have for us. I think we all know that story. So yeah, this is my cut down manifesto. I think I have left off one that's quite important actually, which you maybe want to add in. So number 18, I don't know how I managed to miss this one out. Which is that Labour will ensure that our council is transparent, broadcasting council meetings live online, holding more meetings locally in our communities and establishing what people are talking about this public petitions committee. So that one I missed out unfortunately. So yeah. So what we're left with, and when I was going through this and when I talked to Nick about it at the last meeting, I wondered if I would rearrange the categories. But in the end, I've decided to keep it the way that the council appears to think of it. So the categories that are there are their own. Okay, they're not necessarily where I would put things. So for example, yeah, under health, the only thing that I picked out in health is about 20-mile-an-hour zones. Now, I'm not entirely sure that comes under health. It can come under environment or all sorts of other things. So. So I think that all of the things that are on the list there, and I've combined some of them if it makes sense to combine them. So for example, the first ones there. So 9 and 10 are about dog fouling and litter. I think it makes sense to combine them. 11 and 15 make Glasgow Co-op Council and also set up a co-op unit. So those two seem to go quite well together. And as I say, the rest I think are quantifiable things that we can call them to account on. I think that's what you're really looking for, Nick.
I think that's exactly right.
Have you done this?
Yeah.
But I mean, I think there are some in here which are very bold. So 45, rebuild or refurbish your local primary school.
Yeah.
But we just snap our fingers and that happens.
Absolutely.
What's that about? You know, I'm really wondering about that one.
Do you guys know that the GRA published, Patrick at the GRA published a list of the SNP people and where they were office bearers or were slotting in? Have you seen it? The Glasgow Regional Association, this was in the SNP. Have you seen it? Do you know anything about it? I certainly got a copy of it, where whoever they are, the girl, Mary Hunter, springs to mind, she's linking into education and will have, it's not clear to me whether it's council responsibility or responsibility on behalf of the SNP to keep cajoling councillors in the area of education. Yahanger is doing law and I think buildings, which struck me as weird. But maybe that should be circulated because it's handy to know
It's the people in charge of the committees.
Correct.
Because the amount of SNP councillors increased, they decided that
they had to go and share out of responsibility, I think.
And one of my friends ended up being a Bailey.
That's right, yeah. That was what it was.
Okay, so before we get too much more discussive, is there any chance I could have a show of hands for taking this forward in terms of holding the council to account on their promises?
Absolutely.
Great.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I should stress that this is a first draft. This is not definitive. You know, if people want to look the manifestos online, if you just
Can I
Google
use
online.
this in another place?
Just Google Labour Party Glasgow.
Put Labour Glasgow Manifesto.
yeah,
It looks like that. 100 things we will do. So there's a blurb from Gordon Matheson, and then there's this.
The main boggles when I talk about revamping, completely refurbished George Square. Does that mean take the rest of the gas away? We're ready to take half the gas away?
Go either way, that one comes out.
I have to say I did like the idea of making
One at a time, folks, eh?
Sorry.
Right, carry on.
Is it a statement, obviously it's a manifesto, but manifestos always get, fulfilled. Is that, are they saying we will do this or we will try and do this maybe at some point?
Things we will do.
It's a distillation of their list.
100 things we will do. It's in Glasgow first.
So,
Is there time scale apart from the first one about the commission?
3 of them have. I'm not sure if they're ones that I let in.
I think the People
Some of them, so for example, housing aim, number 69, build 3,500 new homes over the next 5 years. So that's
Should we have another list with the semantic blanks in it? Not just all the rubbish that doesn't make any sense.
I can do that.
You just have a list and you just say, what's this?
It's interesting they built 3,500 new houses or homes or whatever. Because it's quite interesting because both Labour and SNP claim that one. Certainly because a large part of the money comes to Scotland to the Glasgow budget. But once it comes to Glasgow's budget, then it's Glasgow's budget. So they can both legitimately claim that one. That will, of course, Glasgow has no council housing, so they'll call them social housing, but they'll break down social housing into affordable housing because, and just a bit of myth busting, the term social housing has existed for decades, but it was trying to be popularised under Thatcher in order to create a blur between council housing and housing associations, so that people say, well, it's all the same anyway. And now we're creating a blur between social housing and affordable housing. The term affordable housing, for decades, people have been getting PhDs trying to define it. But now, basically, it's housing,
Nobody
as
can.
far as I can make out, that's
It's
a wee bit less than what would, before the financial crash, would have been normal market value, a wee bit below market value, see? So they'll call it affordable. So none of this is very sociable, I don't think, but so it's all, as I say, smoke and mirrors again.
Yeah.
Okay, so before we talk about the smoke and mirrors, if you like, I kind of want to move it forward into the organisational aspects of how we can move on for this. Now, there was a few things that I've been asked to say today. One is, obviously, the Accord campaign won this £140,000 to investigate the possibility of a new centre. Now, I don't believe that was one of Labour's 100 promises, but it's certainly a promise to the Scottish Government. And one of the things I was asked to do is basically see anyone who wants to get involved in holding that money to account and seeing that it is used, because at the moment there isn't really a group focused around making that happen. So first off, is there anyone who wants to be involved in that?
Give us the details again.
So
They passed me by.
the Accord Centre for adults with learning difficulties was
Right.
closed down. It
Right.
has been closed down now. Now, during the election campaign, Alex Salmond promised £140,000 to do scoping work on establishing a new centre for adults with learning difficulties in what will now be the Tollcross Aquatic Centre during the Olympics.
Okay.
So after 2014, to use that site as a future centre, and £140,000 has been made available. But the question is, are the civil servants who are doing that scoping work being held to account? And at the moment, we don't know how much progress there's been on that. So it's basically just a question of gilding that up and
do
making
we
sure that
have
happens.
names for the civil servants doing the scoping work? I
No.
mean, are they people that you could identify?
Well, this is precisely the job of
Right.
what I'm proposing to.
Okay.
Who's this, would they see the Accords campaign? Are they not, would they not be taking part in
Well, I spoke to Helen today about it, and they haven't had any progress on it.
They're
So
asking for us
yeah.
support.
In terms of pushing that specific thing
I
forward.
think one of the things that needs to happen is that they, as the local campaign, they have to spearhead it.
Yeah.
Yes.
They can have
What I
support
promised
from us
Ian-
and from other
yes.
people,
Yes.
but they have to take an initiative with support. Yeah, but they have to take.
I understand that, Ian. What I said I'd do would be collect names from
Yeah.
today.
Right, put mine down.
Put yours down.
Because
Okay.
helps you out, haven't I, really?
Great. Right. Next steps on this. How do we want to do this in terms of, because not everyone is going to want to focus on culture and sport or early years education or so on. I don't know whether it makes sense to group it thematically. I mean, Emma, you've had a chance to have a good swatch of this today.
Yeah.
What's your
Probably-
thoughts?
There's probably things that can be moved around quite a bit. Like I said, I've kept to their taxonomy, if you will, just because I think if we're approaching them, then that's where they would look for the information. Do you know what I
Yeah.
mean? In whatever department it happens to be, but they don't need to stick to it.
But you could have a cross portfolio with which to challenge them. Is that what you're saying?
Yeah.
You know,
Yep.
Whoever's got whatever talent in the 3 in jobs and skills, the 4 in support,
That's-
the 8
that's-
you make up a portfolio and handle that. Is that
Yeah,
what
that's
you're
exactly what I'm saying, but I'm not
Okay.
sure how to group it, whether or not it makes sense, because I mean, health, for example, is
All your
only...
names are too fast for me because I can't assimilate all that
Sure.
and give you an answer right now.
Yeah,
I
I would need
definitely
to
can't. It's
Have
beyond
another
me.
cup of tea.
I'm happy to
Go through it.
Mhm.
go through it and come up with some suggestions, but
Perhaps we should take it away and think about it.
and
Yeah.
email suggestions perhaps to someone. Would that not
So,
give you
yeah,
more
I would
that make-
definitely
scope?
look at first of all. I mean, there might be things there that
It's clear what the city's
Yeah.
It
doing.
would be nice to ask,
So we don't want all this dross, you know, this kind
It's a lot of it.
it would be nice for someone to say, what does that actually mean then?
yeah.
It's taken as a dross entity and imply that it's obscuring.
Okay,
the
so-
real
so basically- Let's look at
Is
this,
that a new word,
Yeah.
cross entity?
take this home, look at it, and then we'll see in about theming it in terms of what you said, cross portfolios.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Nick, when you asked me to do this, is this what you had in mind, to whistle it like this? Want to be a bit more?
To be honest, I envisage how we would probably do it would be the themes in the community agenda and draw out the different themes. But I'm not precious about that, and I think that this has been very helpful.
Right.
Yeah. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thanks for it.
It's a big document to digest.
Yeah.
Yeah. Just try to get the chaff out of it.
Yeah. I mean,
I just maybe mention under the heading of transport, unless I'm sort of skipping here and not seeing it. Was there anything mentioned about road surfacing or potholes or anything?
There is actually. Maybe I've missed that out.
Trams?
Oh, please,
No.
God, no.
okay.
Is that in the longer version?
Aye, there is actually. There's 94 it's potholes. That one's been missed.
Oh, but I think that
That
was
needs
really
to go
quite.
in. Yeah, definitely.
Just,
Is that
important.
Soul Road?
The state of
Transport.
Glasgow's
I
roads.
have one.
And
Yeah. There's
I
a
know
pole.
that Nick travels quite a bit. I travel quite a bit. Some parts of Edinburgh are pretty bad. But Glasgow is the worst,
It
as
is.
I can see,
The roads,
in terms of the state of roads.
mental, eh?
Yeah.
It's like Mexico or something,
Yeah.
the 1980s.
On the other hand, it does seem
Right.
Terrible, man, it reminds me.
That's a very good point, and I've missed that one.
Because I had noticed,
I feel sorry
just
for
as,
the horses.
just as a general impression,
Mind
that
you,
the
this-
frenzied
it's
activity
amazing
that was
you're
taking
on the
place in some major road arteries, like Victoria Road, Pollokshaws Road, Mary Hill Road, Chesterton Road, all seems to have stopped.
Yeah, it has. But a lot of it's transferred to the city centre. We've been
Alright.
trying to navigate through it recently. Every second block is a pile of bollards. I don't know what they're doing. I don't know whether it's more camera. I have no idea.
Maybe that's to do with
But
government.
there's
Say Ian was missing
I-
in Mary Hill.
Okay.
What did you say there?
But Mary Hill,
What was missing?
well, there was a lot of a lot of work going on in Mary Hill Road itself,
Yeah, that's fine.
a couple of months ago.
Beamed up still.
Yeah, they do it at the same time as Westminster Road.
Okay.